Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to the live stream. This is the Dream Clairvoyant. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. So, for those of you who are new to the channel or new to the live, yes, the screen is intentionally blacked out. I do this on purpose because it's not our usual tarot reading. It's simply me relaying a channeled message that I received. Let me wait for more people. There you guys go. I was like, where did everyone go? I am filming this quite late in the day, so I'm pretty sure most people are sleeping, but I always leave it up for everyone to have a chance to view it. Hi, Karen. Hello there. So as you guys can see, or should we wait? Let's wait for more people. It seems like people are just now joining. There we go. Now I'm seeing everyone's comment. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys for tuning in to our very spontaneous live. You're welcome, J Juice. Thank you for your support. Hi, Christy. Welcome to the channel. All right, so we're just gonna get started, okay? As you guys can see from the title of this video, we're gonna be talking about some of the main tactics of the devil, okay? There's this how do I call it? It's like a pattern, okay, that I've noticed in our recent readings of like literally enemies trying to put obstacles in your way, right, on your path. And so let's talk about it, okay? One of the main tactics of the devil is to put you in false partnerships, okay? So to put you in partnerships with false people, okay? So many times, just like how you have, children of God, you also have children of the devil. Those are who we call agents of the devil. They do the devil's dirty work, okay? Long story short. So many times when the devil cannot get to you directly, he seeks to get to you through people. So he'll go through people to get to you. Okay. And I've seen this in real life. I've seen very powerful and great people, who have a powerful purpose, but unfortunately, their partner tends to give them a hard time. They got with a person who is not equally yoked, right? They got with a person who isn't on the same page as them, doesn't, strive to do the right thing as them. So this is what tends to happen when you partner up with false people, right? They tend to mislead you. They tend to mislead you down the wrong path. And even if you try to be headstrong and you try to do the right thing, they may try to be a burden intentionally, right? To give you a hard time. They may try to bully you, pressure you, to threatening you. There's lots of things that happens in false partnerships. So many of the tactics that the devil likes to use is he'll send false people. He'll send false people into our lives so that we can join forces with these false people. Okay. And false people can come into your life as friends who are actually foes, right? Friends who are actually enemies, friends who are actually, secretly envious of you, competing with you, friends who have ulterior motives, right? They may come in the form of a lover, which is a big one that I see very often. You know, people marrying false people getting into relationships with a false person. And that can be extremely devastating. Okay. Marrying a false person, because once you join forces with someone, especially, you know, you've it's legal, right? Something like marriage, it's legal, and you're pretty much bound to that individual. And even if you do want to leave them, it's not an easy thing to do. Okay, so I've seen lots of really great men and women who have a powerful purpose that they have a hard time fulfilling because they have a partner who's just not equally yoked. They have a partner who is problematic, right? Who is troublesome, who is a burden, a partner who wants to steer them down the wrong direction, you know, a partner who wants to manipulate them or control them, abuse them, you know, take advantage of them. All that sort of things can really be of hindrance, right? It can really hinder a person from truly fulfilling their purpose, okay? Their divine purpose. Is this making sense, you guys? So, partnerships are very real, even when it comes to work, when it comes to finances, right? I've seen people who sign really bad contracts. They sign contracts with the wrong people. Okay, I've heard stories of it, you know, business partnerships, right, that are false, as in, you know, the devil sending you the wrong person to partner up with, and you've already signed the contract. Now you're bound to them. Now you're sort of like a slave to them, you know. Now you have to fulfill the contract, you know, or if you try to break it, you have to pay them back. You have to pay them something. So these false partnerships can happen in so many ways, right? These false people can come to us as friends, as lovers, even relatives, business partners, co-workers, especially when it comes to a job. Some of you have a special job, a special company that you're supposed to be working for, a specific position, you know. But if you're not patient to let it all happen by divine timing, you may end up settling. You may end up choosing another job offer, and that's a false place that you're not supposed to be at. You know, it's a false institution that you're not supposed to be working for. Now you're stuck there. Now you're drained. Now you're tired. You know, you're unhappy. So that's really a big tactic of the devil, is by, you know, sort of manipulating us into joining forces with the wrong people. Okay, many times, you know, when the devil can sense that God is about to send a blessing your way, what he strives to do, what the devil tries to do, is by sending you counterfeits, right? Sending you counterfeits so that if you're not patient, if you don't have real faith, you'll end up impatiently choosing any offer, any opportunity that's presented to you, because you don't want to wait, you don't want to have faith, you know. You end up choosing any opportunity or offer that's presented to you. Little do you know that's the counterfeit. Okay, so that's one of the things that I've also seen and I've witnessed and I've experienced myself, that when the enemy knows that a blessing's coming towards you, the devil will try to send you a counterfeit. And if you take that counterfeit, man, it's gonna have you tied up in something that you really don't want to be tied up in. And so by the time this blessing comes in, you won't have the freedom to take it. You'll already be so consumed by another thing. Okay, is this making sense, you guys? So really, it's a test of faith. Okay, you're being tested. God is watching you to see if you truly have faith, if you truly believe that he will fulfill his promises as he has always done, or if you're going to be impatient and rush into something that really isn't the real thing, right? Rush into something that isn't for you. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to your love life, I truly believe that God has a special person for everyone, but you have to walk this path with God and stay close to him and do the work on yourself so that eventually he can reveal to you, you know, who your rightful romantic partner is. If you rush into things, man, let me tell you, I've met so many like powerful men and women of God, even some pastors and everything, who have a very, very troublesome spouse that does not let them that does not let them be the great man or woman of God that they are destined to be. You know, these false partnerships are absolutely crucial, you know, very impactful. So you want to be very, very careful when you're selecting even your romantic partners, you know. When you're selecting people who you want to have children with, you know. Also, when it comes to your work and finances, you want to make sure that you're working for the right business or company or institution, okay? You don't want to be bound to a place that is unfulfilling, that doesn't pay you right, that doesn't treat you right. You know what I'm saying? Be very careful with these partnerships, people, places, and things, okay? Even when it comes to even when it comes to something like the community, like where you're gonna live. You know, some of you may be trying to move, right? You want to move to a different place, different home or whatever. That's even important because you don't want to, you know, pay for that house, you know, or make the down payment for that house or rent out that specific spot in that specific area. Anything that has to do with contracts, right? That will keep you stuck there for some time, only for you to find out that you're in the wrong community with the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be really, really, really careful with who you're partnering up, the person, place, or thing that you're partnering up with. Okay. Same thing goes for some of you who have business partnerships. I tell you guys, I think I said this in one of the live streams that I did. Many of you guys are so gifted, you're so talented, you're so skilled, you're so wise, you know, you carry great knowledge. You are valuable. Okay, you are very, very valuable. And there may be some people who want to get into false business partnerships with you only to exploit you for your gifts, skills, or talents. Just because the money sounds good or the deal sounds good, you know, doesn't always mean that that is what's meant for you. God may have an even bigger, greater deal, you know, that will be much more rewarding, financially and emotionally, you know. But I definitely see it so clearly that this season, the devil's agenda, the devil's plot was to get some of you guys into false partnerships, okay? And another thing that the devil likes to do is he'll present you with an offer that may look or sound good, but if you receive it, you're selling yourself short, because if you would have waited and be patient for the real blessing to come in, that blessing is far greater than the other offers or opportunities that were presented to you. Okay, the bigger the blessing, the greater the blessing, the more you have to be patient, the more work that needs to be done. Okay, so I really feel like what's happening to many of you guys who feel like, you know, dream things have been taking quite some time, or I feel like there's delays, or I feel like there's obstacles and stuff like that. Nothing, just remember this, there's absolutely nothing that can happen that God does not permit. Okay, even if there was an enemy that tried to put an obstacle in your way, God allowed it for a reason, because He's also watching you and He's also testing your faith as well. Okay, and patience is very important. Patience shows just how faithful you are. Okay, so I feel like many of you guys, you're really in this period of just being tested, and you're also being watched. Not just the people who are, you know, doing things to you, not just the false people, is what I'm trying to say. The false people are being watched, are being judged as well, but you're also being watched and judged when it comes to how you're going to respond to these false people who want to partner up with you. Are you going to say yes to them, you know, or are you going to say, you know what, Give me a second. Let me pray about it. Thank you for the opportunity, but let's take it easy. I would like to get to know you more before I can, join forces with you, or are you just going to rush into things out of greed and impatience? So that's why I'm saying everyone here is being watched, everyone here is being tested and judged, including you. Okay. But yes, you guys, definitely be discerning when it comes to the people, places, and things that you're going to be partnering up with. Is this making sense, everyone? Let me see. And I also want to talk about some of you who may have a low self-esteem, where it's not that you don't have faith, but you have disbelief, where you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you're good enough. Okay, I'm sensing that some of you may even have such a low self-esteem that you don't believe that God can do it, can make it possible, can bring you what you want, grant you what you want. You don't believe that those prayers will be heard and answered. You don't believe that your wishes are going to be granted, that you will see your manifestations take place right in front of your two eyes. Some of you are really suffering from disbelief, and it comes from this sense of low self-esteem, where you feel like you're not good enough for something to take place, for something to happen in your life. If God created us in his image, why do you think that you're not good enough? Why do you think that you're not successful enough, smart enough, intelligent enough, creative enough, artistic enough, beautiful enough, handsome enough? What makes you think, if you truly, truly believe in God and you know that he created us in his image, why do you believe that you're not good enough for something? Why are you in disbelief? If you truly know that you are a child of God, you know that nothing is impossible. Nothing is too good to be true. Nothing is too big for God to do for you. No problem that you face is too big for God to solve for you. No obstacle that's in your way is too big for God to remove for you. No loss that you have taken is too big for God to restore what you lost. Even those of you who made mistakes, maybe you did partner up with the wrong people, it's never too late. What makes you think that you've dug such a deep hole for yourself that God cannot pull you out of it, that he can't reverse it and resolve it for you? Some of you are really struggling with the spirit of disbelief. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe you're good enough. You don't believe that it'll happen. You don't believe that God will grant you it. Some of you have such low self-esteem that you don't even know, you don't believe that you are important to God. You don't believe that he's watching you, protecting you, guiding you. You don't believe that you are blessed and highly favored. You don't believe that you are important to the kingdom of God. You don't believe how significant you are, how special, how precious you are to God, because you have a low self-esteem. If only you can start seeing, if only you can see who you are in the eyes of God, and not who you are in the eyes of the people who have hurt you and disappointed you. If only you can know who God says you are, and not who the devil, the enemy, and the liars, the narcissists have said who you are, have told you that you are. Some of you are suffering. You're suffering from disbelief. And this disbelief is causing you to hold back. You don't believe in your own self. You don't believe that you can do it. This disbelief is causing you so many doubts, fears, and insecurities. And fear should have no room in a child of God's life. Like it should have no room in your life. Because we find strength through God. So if you believe in God, you know that He has given you the strength. He has equipped you with everything that you need to go forward and go for what you want. The disbelief is causing many of you to hold back and to not pursue what you want. The disbelief is causing many of you to believe that something that God has given to you is too good to be true. Some of you know that the blessing is right in front of you. What you've been praying for is right in front of you, but you're too scared to go for it because of the disbelief. Some of you really think that something's too good to be true. Someone out here, what you've been praying for is literally, it's been presented to you, but you think it's too good to be true, so you're second guessing it. And you're allowing fear to hold you back. Some of you are suffering from this disbelief so much that you're even settling. You're settling with the wrong person, place, or thing because you don't believe that God has something or someone much greater for you. Is this making sense? Suffering from disbelief. This is too good to be true. Or this person is too good to be true. Or wow, this is happening to me. This opportunity is given to me. Or this person's interested in me. I mean, low self-esteem. Why in the world wouldn't good things be attracted to you? Why in the world wouldn't great things find their way to you as a child of God? Why are you shocked? Get rid of the disbelief and start believing. Get rid of the lack of faith and start being faithful. Start opening your eyes to see who you are. And the reminder is all around you. How important you are to God, it is all around you. You just have to stop for a second and see. Some of you have made it so far when the enemy tried everything to hold you back, to destroy you, to get rid of you. Some of you have made it so far without a single scratch, not a single harm. Some of you had the devil going crazy because he tried every single tactic and it still didn't work. Why? It's not by luck. It's by God's protection on your life, the favor that he has. You're favored. You're blessed. You're chosen, you're anointed. You have a higher calling. You have a divine purpose. Some of you don't realize you feel so small inside, and you don't even realize that when the enemy looks at you, you're like a giant in their eyes. That's how the devil sees you. You're like a mountain that cannot be moved. You are unshakable, and it's not necessarily because of it's not necessarily all because of you, but it's because you have God by your side who gives you the strength, who gives you the faith, who gives you the protection, the guidance. You're like a giant. Some of you feel so small while the enemy's looking at you, and in order for them to even look at you, they have to look up. It's time for some of you, and it's all around you. God's love for you is all around you. Look at your life. Look at how far you've come. Look at all the things that you have overcome. Look at all the challenges that you faced in life, yet you're still here, still thriving. It's because you are important. You're still here because you are important. You have a significant purpose. God is very intentional with the things that he does and the people who he favors, who he protects. Is because there's a divine purpose. There's a higher calling on your life. You have a destiny to fulfill. You're important. That's why you're still here. You're important. You're significant. You have an important role, position, job, duty, task. You're very much significant. You're very much the main character here. But you still haven't seen it. Some of you still haven't seen it. You're still here. You're still here because God has a position for you in his kingdom, an assignment for you. You're needed. Some of you are so great and so magnificent. You scared the shit out of the devil. Y'all know I don't cuss. Some of you, you are the devil's greatest nightmare. He fears you. But what he has tried to do is instill fear in you and convince you of what you're not, to bring you down. He has filled your mind with so much lies, and he wants you to believe it. He wants you to believe that you are the opposite of who you really are. So if you're great, he wants you to believe that you're the opposite, that you are less than, that you are inferior. If God has blessed you with intelligence, creativity, brilliance, skills, and talents, the devil wants to persuade you that you're just average, not important, not special, not good enough. The devil likes to persuade us of what we're not, so that we will not see who we really are in the eyes of God. Which is why you have to have a tough skin. Which is why you have to build such a close bond with God that you know his voice, you recognize his spirit, so that when the devil tries to tell you lies, you'll know that that's not God talking to you, because you know God, you know his voice, you know his spirit, so that when the devil sends you false people who want to lie, sabotage you, manipulate you, make you feel worthless, you'll know that these aren't people that are from God. So why even listen to them? So that when the enemy tries to present to you, when the enemy tries to present to you false offers and opportunities, you will discern and know that that opportunity, that offer, it does not come from God. It's like when you know who God is, you also know who you are. And no one can come and tell you otherwise. No one can come and tell you any lies or nonsense. They can try, but it won't work. I think it's time for some of you to refocus, center yourself, like the temperance card, and start focusing back on God. Okay? Be in his presence and grow this bond, this relationship that you have with him. Because the more you know God, the more you know who you are. I promise you that. I promise you that. Some of you are still shocked when you encounter adversaries, when you encounter people who want to challenge you, or people who dislike you. When you encounter enemies, you're still shocked. Why are you shocked? You're a child of God. Of course they're going to be intimidated. Of course they're going to not like you. Of course they're going to try to stand in your way. Of course they're going to try to do this and that. Yeah, because you know who you are and you know what comes with that. I want you guys to be so confident in who you are, right? That when you encounter enemies, it doesn't even shake you. It doesn't even move you, because you know how it's going to end. They will be defeated, and you will continue to conquer. I want you to be so confident, but in order for you to be confident in yourself, you also have to be confident in God, to the point where you are just unshakable, unmovable. And many of you guys, you're there. You're almost there. You're like a giant, literally. You're like a mountain. They can't shake you. They can't shake you. They can't move you. I'm sorry, you guys. I wasn't looking at the chat. The words were just flowing from my mouth. Let me see what you guys are saying. Some of you even took some losses this year, right? You took some losses, and that was just a test as well. God was testing you to see if you would just give up on him and lose faith. Okay? Some of you may have even taken like a financial loss is what I'm hearing. Maybe finances kind of went downhill or slowed down a little bit. Those of you who have businesses and stuff like that. And God was testing you because he gave you those finances in the first place. So what makes you think that he can't restore you? Some of you took various losses, whether it's in your finances, your job, you know, whatever you lost. He's the provider. He was the one who provided you it. He was the one who gave it to you. So if something happened, some unfortunate things happened and you lost it, what makes you think that he can't restore it? He gave it to you. He can take it back and he can even restore it. And when your season of restoration comes, it's going to be bigger than you have ever imagined. It's going to be twice as big as what he gave you initially. And it's because of your steadfast faith. Where even when you lost it because of some misfortune or because of some hardships and difficulties, because of tough times, even when you lost it, you had even greater faith and you knew that God was going to restore it tenfolds. It's just a test. Some of you were really being tested. God was watching you. God was like, okay, let me take some of this away and see if you'll still have faith, if you'll still be focused, if you'll still serve me, if you'll still believe in me. Or are you going to be impatient and fearful and go and take bad offers from people? You know, are you going to stray down a different path, right? Of material greed and obsessions and not realize that God is the ultimate provider. He is the ultimate provider. So what you lose, what you received in the first place, it came from him. You got that job in the first place because of the blessing he gave you. You got that house in the first place because he blessed you financially. You know, you got that lover in the first place because he sent that lover into your life. So just because you guys were facing some, you know, a little bit of some conflict in the relationship doesn't take back what he gave you. You know, he's the ultimate provider. So when you lose it, you know, due to some certain circumstances, have faith that he can also restore it. And when God is ready to restore it, it's always bigger and greater than what he initially gave you. And that's him rewarding you tenfolds for having faith in him. It's the test of faith. And many times, the greatest way that faith is tested is through hardships and difficulties. It's easy to believe when things are going well, you know? It's easy to believe when things are going well. It's easy to celebrate and rejoice and praise God and worship God, you know, when things are going good. But will you still have that faith when things seem to go a little bit shaky, you know? When your patience is being tested, when you're experiencing some delays or hardships and difficulties, you know? All right, you guys, I feel like that's all that I was hearing to relate to you all. I'm still praying for you guys. I'm just so proud of the collective. I mean, the energy of the collective, it just, it's rising higher and higher and higher. You guys are elevating. And it's almost like I can feel a bunch of extremely high vibrational beings. And it's just beautiful. And I'm so proud of you guys. Please continue to be faithful, continue to be patient, and allow things to divinely unfold in your life, and just have faith that everything's a part of the divine plan for you. Okay? And it's the plan to prosper you and never to harm you. All right? Thank you guys so very much. Take care, everyone, and many blessings to you.